back up and running for Screen Preach, and it's episode 49, and I never know if I'm wearing the headphones the right way. I put them on both ways every time, switch it up every week, whatever. Okay, just finished watching The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I like this Friday night thing when it's not 11:30 at night. It is 9, so it's a little bit more doable. You know, I'm a little bit more awake and energized. And I'm fresh off the episode. I'm ready to go. But here's the thing. We also got a different kind of episode this week. I didn't watch a movie this week because I couldn't find anything to really segue. I mean, I probably could have just picked something and went with it. But then I thought, let's take it a little easier this week and just kind of focus on the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That is going to be our topic this week, is episode 4 of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which we will do after our news, since it is the main topic. And that'll be it. It's more of a TV spotlight episode too. It is the TV spotlight episode because the facts and the quotes and everything else will be TV themed. And it's good to have, we're doing Falcon and Winter Soldier is a Marvel thing, and it just felt like the right segue. We'll just focus on it. Segue into the 50th big 5-0 Marvel Cinematic Universe special. And then, yes, episode season 2 of Screen Preach is coming. Changing up the formatting a little bit. Changing up the appearance of everything a little bit, and kind of the vibes of it a little bit. And we'll start with 51. Season 2, and it is hot as fucking balls in here, you know what I mean? I just realized I want to turn my air conditioning on, but I can't turn my air conditioning on yet until we're done here, because it's just too loud and it just starts to fucking make everything just not gonna, we need the right stuff here. Of course, there's things I can't control, so be ready for the sirens, be ready for potential neighbors, all that shit, although he's been pretty good. So what else do we got here? What's going on? As usual, I would think you know who I am at this point. Ben Morganti, however the fuck it's pronounced. You notice that we don't really even know how to pronounce our fucking name. I think it's in our house. We switch it all the time, back and forth. It's Morganti and it's Morganti. And that's that, whatever. I don't know why I'm introducing myself like that. Fucking matters. What else? What are we watching besides the stuff that we, get back to every week? The movies. HBO Max is cool. We're having same day releases as in theaters. I will see Mortal Kombat in the theater, but it'll be out on HBO Max as well. Jesus Christ. It was an 80-degree day here, almost 85, I would say. I'm fucking sweating. I'm really hot right now. There's nothing I can do about it. We're gonna keep this moving, power through here. I really am fucking hot, alright? But whatever. If you see me sweating, that's why. Okay? It's not like I can't do this or anything. I'm just really fucking hot, alright? I'm hot. I'm really hot. Yeah, so I'm just still kind of the same. No, computer. I don't understand why when you click remind me later, it brings me to it. Remind me later means remind me later, not bring me to it. Okay, Adobe? Fuck off. All right. We'll do the news first. I don't think there's really anything. The only other thing I'm watching is I'm still kind of just browsing television shows that I need to catch up on. The whole point of me rewatching the Marvel Netflix shows is I'm building up to Jessica Jones season 3. I still haven't seen it, by the way. That's the whole thing. Jessica Jones season 3 ends the Marvel Netflix run. If you consider it as one big show, which I have been doing, it's way more fun to watch that way. You binge all of them in a certain, kind of way, and it's like one giant Marvel show. And just call the whole thing The Defenders, because that's what it is. And Jessica Jones is the final season, and that Jessica Jones season 3 is the final season, and I still don't know how how that goes. I haven't seen it, so I've been building to that. I will finish with that, and then I'm gonna watch a bunch of superhero type ish shows that I've needed to catch up on and needed to see. I still haven't finished Preacher. I need to see the final season. I'm caught up. I just have to see the final season. I'm caught up on Legion. I have to see the final season. And then there's shows I want to see for the first time. I want to see Umbrella Academy. I want to see The Boys. I want to see, all the good stuff that I hear about all the time. So that's it for what I'm watching. Besides movies, obviously, that pop up. Right now it's 1 or 2 movies a week that I get to watch, and that's it. Have a lot of fun with the Instagram account. I'm having fun with that. I like doing that. Not even really for, even if I don't have a following. Like, I kind of just like having this little platform that, for me, like, it's cool to like go back through and like, it's fun. Like, I like doing that stuff. And that's it. That's my update for you. And we can move into the news of the week now. So let's do that. Unless, if I forget anything else, I don't think so. This is the old format, by the way, this week, actually, for once in a while. Because I had switched it to they're half-an-hour shows. They were half-an-hour shows after I switched it. And then when I started doing TV recaps, because I have to, because I felt an urge to just talk about these episodes. Marvel threw a whole new style of Marvel at us with Disney Plus, and I'm just like, every week I gotta talk about it. So somehow we became an hour fucking show again, and that's just how it is. But there will be weeks without, it'll be just a movie topic, 35-minute episode, 40-minute episode tops, and that'd be cool too. And the hour ones are cool. I'm not keeping track, but clearly that's a lie, because I just clearly proved that I'm keeping track of it. Whatever. A lot of interesting stuff happened in the news. Actually, it started so slow this week. I wasn't seeing much, and then it fucking just, the last couple days, a whole bunch of stuff that I thought was interesting popped up. So we'll get to that right now. I put this up on Instagram. The first thing was first here. I put up this whole new thing with Warner Brothers. I've been talking about HBO Max and theaters and streaming and 2022, next year, Warner's is reverting back to its in-theaters only releases. No same-day HBO Max releases next year. So for movies like The Batman, the next Flash, pretty much any of the DC movies, the next Fantastic Beasts, anything Warner Brothers, in theaters, and then on HBO Max later. I actually didn't clarify if they're doing that in 45. So what they're doing is they're going to be doing a new 45-day theatrical run, which is historical because usually it's 90 days. I think a lot of studios are changing it now. They're actually shortening it. It's a new era. They're going to be shortening the theatrical runs. I don't know if it's permanent or not, but 45 days, and then it's out on whatever. I think HBO Max or disc. Then that's where they're at with that. So, still looking forward. You get to enjoy this 2021 slate. If you want to just stay home and watch these movies, you can. Mortal Kombat, the Sopranos prequel, The Many Saints of Newark. If you can just watch it. I'm a theater person. I will see that. I'm gonna go see that in a theater. The Matrix. I don't know if The Matrix made the cut. Did it make? I think it did. I think it's the last one in 2021 that'll be out on HBO Max on the same day as in theaters. But I will see that in a theater. You know what I mean? There's just things that need to be seen, in my opinion, in a theater. So there's that. No, Benji, we're not. I'm pulling up my screenplay. I need that right now. I could go all day there, but we're not doing that right now. Indiana Jones 5 news. Aside from some casting, it's cool so basically the female lead playing opposite in Harrison Ford will be Phoebe Waller-Bridge is the female lead in the film. They just cast her. Don't know what Indiana Jones 5, and it's not even called that. It's Untitled Indiana Jones Project, because it will have a subtitle. Don't know anything about it. Don't know what it's about. Nothing like that. Spielberg is just a producer on it. James Mangold is the director. We know that. But now we also have learned John Williams is returning to score the movie. Has to, dude. The OG. He did the originals. He's done all of them. He's gotta come back and do this one, and he is. John Williams is the guy who scored. I mean, have you seen any movie ever? Have you seen any movie ever? He's the guy who made the music in any movie ever that you've seen. That's John Williams. Okay, pretty much. I mean, obviously there's other guys like that are famous enough too. Hans Zimmer, Danny Elfman. You know, James Newton. Is it James Newton Howard? There's a few. John Powell. There's some guys that you would, if you followed this shit, you would know them. The new kid on the block is my favorite right now, and that's Ludwig Göransson. If I'm saying his name right, I think it's like Göransson or something. But he's just fucking great. Mandalorian, Tenet, Black Panther, kid's fucking star. Kid's a stud. And yeah, I mean, John Williams, my favorite thing about him is that he scored the entire Skywalker saga. He did all 9 Star Wars movies. The fact that he came back into the new trilogy too was so cool. So he's got to do it. I mean, he did all the Indiana Jones movies. He's got to do this one, and he is. So that's cool. My brother got Paramount Plus, so now I got Paramount Plus. We're gonna explore that a little bit, and I'll let you know what's up. You know, what kind of stuff they have to offer, really. You know, the same thing with the new stuff is gonna get better as they add to it. You know, when they first come out, it's tough. They gotta build. You know, Disney Plus didn't have. They didn't really. Everybody was on that shit just because they wanted to relive their childhood. You know, originally, HBO Max was like pulling shit out actually, for some reason, and then had to put it back on. I don't know. It was weird, and now they just have everything, dude. They have a lot of shit. HBO Max. So Paramount Plus, I have high hopes for it going forward, because Paramount is a big studio. It's a historical, classic fucking studio with the things that it gave us, the movies that it gave us. So the potential, I'm very excited for the potential of Paramount Plus. Speaking of Paramount delays Top Gun Maverick, and what else? It delays Mission Impossible 7, plus more titles. Not exactly sure why, but because I think when those movies come out, we're doing a lot better, so I don't know why, but they did. You know, as we see these final shifts in release dates, they should be the last shifts that we see. Should be. You know, you never know what the fuck's gonna happen. It could just all of a sudden be an apocalypse out there. Everybody's getting these vaccines. What if the vaccines start fucking... What if we have I Am Legend shit going on here? You know? You've effectively cured cancer, and then apocalypse. You know? You just don't know. Assuming there's not zombies trying to break down my door, should be in a movie theater soon. Let's leave it at that, you know. Star Trek film set for 2023 is a top secret storyline, and J.J. Abrams is producing. So with this latest shift in things, a Star Trek film was announced kind of secretly. It's in the slate, you know. It was like, oh, look, they slipped that in. And we don't know what it's about, but it'll be out in 2023. That's all we know. Star Trek is supposed to be another one, I think, that's separate from this one, and then there's the Tarantino one, and then there's like, I think Simon Pegg. I don't know. There's gonna be a few different ones now. You know, not all the same series. That J.J. Abrams, you know, that trilogy of films, which I mean, J.J. Abrams only directed. He directed the first 2, not the third one. But that, yeah, I think of it as the J.J. Abrams Star Trek trilogy. That trilogy is no longer being continued at... I think it is, but not just that. There's other shit going on, too. And this is all Paramount related. Paramount, all the Star Trek shows are going to be at Paramount Plus. So if you're planning on watching Star Trek related stuff, Paramount Plus is the place for you. She-Hulk, Disney Plus TV series, one of the upcoming chapters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Are you snoring and you're awake? How's that even possible? How? You hear her? She-Hulk added a new actress. They had casted a new actress in the She-Hulk Disney Plus series. They casted Renee Elise Goldsberry to the cast of She-Hulk. So, she joins the series lead, Tatiana Maslany. The latest casting was Ginger Gonzalez, and Mark Ruffalo is in it, of course, returning as Bruce Banner, and we have Tim Roth returning as Abomination. I mean, it's just gonna be fucking awesome. That one I'm really looking forward to. The fact that they're bringing back characters from the Incredible Hulk from 2008 with Edward Norton's Bruce Banner, they're really connecting that movie back into things in such a beautiful fucking way. Ow, my arm is sore. Oh, they reopened my gym in my building. So when your body's like, shit, we're actually lifting stuff again. Yeah. Oh. Ow. I'll save our, you know what? Should I save it or I should just do it and then cut it in? I mean, I'll forget again like I did last time. The big thing I wanted to talk about this week, and I put it up real quick on Instagram, but Spider-Man has a new streaming home for its films going forward. And it is not Disney Plus. And why am I pissed about this? I feel like kind of pissed about it. Because it's more of Sony's fuckery. That's why. Look, it's fine. Whatever. It's cool. If Marvel and Sony work together really well creatively and make this work in a way where anything Sony does with Spider-Man content going forward kind of seems like a offbeat, adjacent to multiverse dimension of the MCU, then I'll probably be okay with it. Where they can just pull people into the MCU kind of sometimes when they want to, then I'll be okay with it. Otherwise, it's fucking annoying that, I mean, so Spider-Man films will not be on Disney Plus. They will be on Netflix. Netflix and Sony made a huge fucking deal. Basically, I think Sony left their deal with Starz to move to Netflix. Anything that they put out in theaters, anything that they make in television, it'll find its way on Netflix. Spider-Man's films are the big one, you know, even stuff like Venom and Morbius and anything they make like that, it's going to be available on Netflix to watch after the theatrical runs, of course. So that was really, really huge to hear. I just, it would be great if things were all where they're supposed to be, you know? Like with the X-Men characters coming to the MCU, it's very interesting stuff because the Madripoor, the place in Falcon and Winter Soldier where the story is currently taking place, it's actually there's Easter eggs to Wolverine because there's a bar in Madripoor in the comics where Wolverine hangs out and shit. I thought that was cool. Things are gonna start to, you know what it is. So yeah, Spider-Man will be on Netflix. It's crazy stuff, man. Also, Spider-Man 4 rumored. So this is the thing I was just mentioning is like if they make it work in a way where things are Spider-Man, you know, got Spider-Man things coming out and there are another dimension of the MCU, it could work. And they want to play with this IP they have. They want to just keep playing with Spider-Verse shit, man. Characters from that world. It's why they're making all these villain solo films and hero solo films in that world, in Spider-Man's world. And now they want to like potentially bring Sam Raimi back to do his fourth Spider-Man film with Tobey Maguire returning as Peter Parker, I'd fucking watch it. I grew up on that trilogy, so I'd fucking watch it. The thing is, if you're gonna tell us that's rumored, it's obviously not confirmed. This is just a rumor going around. But I thought it'd be fun to bring it up. If you're gonna pop that at us, I mean, it just confirms that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man's gonna pop into the upcoming film. You know, No Way Home. Basically, No Way Home is shaping up to be very much some kind of live-action Spider-Verse film. We'll see what happens. A lot of cool Spider-Man news. That last one's just a rumor, but whatever. It's fun to talk about. Yeah. What is this? Oh, yeah. Paul Dano joins Steven Spielberg's semi-autobiographical film and is playing Spielberg's... Who's he playing, Paul Dano? He's playing the fictional father of the director. Yeah, okay. Cool. I keep seeing news for that all the time, so I thought I keep telling you about it. I'll keep updating you on it. That's interesting. And what else? Sylvester Stallone will not appear in Creed 3. I did post this. Kind of disappointing because it's been a great character dynamic between the two, between Rocky and Adonis. This is a great film coming because it's the final one. It'll probably be it should be. It's a trilogy. This is the one Michael B. Jordan is directing himself. It's directorial debut. I like all that. There will be it'll be a very personal film to Michael B. Jordan probably, and he'll really take it to a nice place. But I just really would love to. It's the last one, just to have Rocky in it, and then I remembered, you know what? Stallone is probably just busy working on his Rocky prequel series that I mentioned last week. But it sucks to hear that, but it's I get it. It's fine, like whatever. There will probably be. It's not like the writing will just suck and they won't mention Rocky. I'm sure they would probably mention where he is, maybe for a second. I don't know. Maybe they won't. And yeah, I thought I should definitely bring up. Zendaya is the one. Zendaya joined Space Jam: A New Legacy and is voicing Lola Bunny, the new Lola Bunny that people all that outrage about the new Lola Bunny thing was stupid. It's a bunny. It's an animated bunny. What are we talking about here? Zendaya is voicing Lola Bunny. And there was a new Black Widow trailer. I forgot to post it. I should have posted that. You know the thing about me with trailers? I don't watch trailers 2, 3, 4. I don't watch trailers anymore. I watch, if I'm lucky, like, I honestly don't even watch trailer 1. Like, I don't watch the official... I watch the teasers with, like, a little tiny bit of footage in it, and that's it. Because trailers these days suck. I understand why they do it. They have to really market it out there. They have a whole marketing strategy. They just reveal too much. You know when I stopped watching trailers? The Spider-Man Homecoming trailer back in 2017, 2016, I think it was, when the trailer came out. They literally plot pointed the whole fucking movie in the trailer. You saw main plot points in the trailer, like in order. It's ridiculous. So I don't watch trailers because I don't want to be spoiled. But I will post them. I will post them. So I should have posted this. I didn't. Going forward, I will still post. No reason for me to see another Black Widow show. I don't want to see anything else. I just want to see the movie now. My favorite thing is my least favorite thing, or my peeve that annoys me. I see people who make a living out of being like these article writers who are like new whatever leak reveals big blah 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 spoiler blah 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 blah, or this leak, or this amount of footage for this was leaked and revealed. Check it out, dude. Take a fucking road trip somewhere, because you just can't be. That's not. Stop. Okay, if you're one of these people, stop. Those people, and the people on Instagram who are purposefully making fake posts just for fucking attention, like fake news. Like, I remember way back, like, oh, they confirmed Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire's, but no, they fucking didn't. They fucking didn't. You just put that up so that people would fucking stop. You people stop, and the people with the leak articles. Because who the fuck wants... Also, shame on you, but also more shame on the people actually clicking on it and, like, trying to see... Stop trying to spoil shit for yourself. It's stupid. Watch the thing when it comes out and have it reveal shit to you in the moment, and you'll be surprised at how much better it is. Obviously, dude. Obviously. Okay, got my little rant out of the way. Let's move on to the Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode 4 recap. Spoiler-filled recap. It's just fresh in my mind, so let's just start right from the top. I'm going to go through the episode. We open where we left off, but with a deeply character-driven, dramatic flashback moment. Okay, that we didn't see before, but just when we can jump back and like see an actual big character point moment for a character, we got to see when Bucky actually stopped being brainwashed by Hydra. All of what Wakanda helped him get through, they fixed him and made him himself. They freed him, basically, was how they put it here, and it's the perfect way to put it. And some people, by the way, were confused about who actually showed up at the end of the last episode. It is not Okayu. Sometimes I mispronounce. I never mispronounce M'Baku because it's my favorite. He's my favorite. I love saying M'Baku. M'Baku. Awesome fucking name for a character. But I do sometimes mispronounce him. Also, I love how Bucky... He's almost like an honorary Wakandan. He lived there, he's literally referred to as White Wolf by them, by Wakandans and by Ayo. By the way, it's Ayo is the character, not Okayu. Shit, I'm so sorry if I'm mispronouncing. Ayo is the character. We've seen her in all the movies that she's been, like all the Wakandan base she's been in. She actually first appeared in Civil War when T'Challa first appeared. She was T'Challa's bodyguard. I think I mentioned that last week. It is no surprise that the Dorma Malaji, that's who the Wakandan police are, the chicks with spears. The Dorma Malaji is, it's no surprise they're showing up and getting involved in this because they have a personal vendetta or responsibility to keep Zemo locked up. Because Zemo killed the prior king of Wakanda. Don't ever forget that. Zemo framed Bucky and actually was the person who killed T'Challa's father and the former king of Wakanda, King T'Chaka. And so there's a big, obviously they feel obligated to keep that man locked up. So it does not surprise me at all that they are in this episode, and they're very much in this episode. I mean, just the way we start the episode in Wakanda, seeing the moment when Ayo helped Bucky actually stop being, she says the words and he doesn't, he actually just breaks down crying, just afraid that it's gonna happen. And it doesn't happen, and then it turns into fucking... In one swift, fucking dramatic moment, it goes from tears of fear to tears of joy, literally, and he's free. And it's a beautiful scene. It's a beautiful opening to this episode. And from there, we cut right back to where we left off, literally right where we left off, and I love how Ao literally refers to him as White Wolf. And she gives him just enough. She says, "I'll give you 8 hours, and then we intervene." Because Bucky convinces her enough that that Zemo, they need to use him for this at the moment. You can't trust Zemo. Even Daniel Bruhl, who plays, lost the name for a second there. Even Daniel Bruhl, who plays Zemo, said, "You cannot trust Zemo," and we cannot trust Zemo. And by the way, at the end of the episode, where the fuck is Zemo? Where did he go? Because he's gone. All of a sudden, he's gone. So yeah, but Bucky. People might not pick up on it, but I like. There's a moment when Bucky speaks Wakandan to Ao, and she kind of has this little smirk on her face, and I think it's because it implies that she obviously taught him Wakandan, how to speak Wakandan, and it's kind of like a little subtle, like, oh, your Wakandan's gotten better, and she was a little impressed in that moment. But dude, so this episode really just expands on what it's been building upon. I feel like every episode kind of gets better. This is the best episode so far, and it really raises the stakes even more because it plays. The whole episode is playing with one question: what does a super soldier and the shield of Captain America represent to different people? What does it mean to different people? And this whole global repatriation... Fuck, dude, what's the C? Every week I forget one of the words. God damn it. And then there's a new one now. There's a new pact that they made. Basically, this whole thing about governments kicking people out of their homes to make room for people who reappeared. This whole thing about pushing aside people who didn't get blipped away so that people who returned could have a life again. It's just a classic case of discrimination, basically, in a new form. In the MCU, this is a new and current form of discrimination. And no one's going to relate to that more than black people in America, obviously. So that phone call was great. The phone call between Carly and Sarah Wilson, Sam's sister, was very powerful. But this idea they play with about what the serum represents and what it does to people. This whole thing about this very poetic moment here, where one of Carly's cronies is talking about how he was a big fan of Captain America growing up and what Captain America represented to him and meant to him. That there can be actual good people in this world, decent people standing for the right things. And it's very poetic that that same guy is fucking killed by the new Captain America. And it just shows the contrast. It just shows a huge contrast and why John Walker is not... He may be something. He may be something. He may have a symbol. He may have a moniker. He may have a role to play in things, but he is not. He is not Captain America. He is very much not Captain America. And by the way, what the serum, this whole thing about what the serum does, it's not a new thing. It might seem like a new thing where the serum, it makes people go crazy or it makes people lose control. That is not actually a new thing. It's not that it makes you lose control. The doctor who created it in the first place, Dr. Erskine, who created Steve Rogers, who created Captain America in the first Captain America movie ever, described it best when he said the serum amplifies what's inside. He said good becomes great and bad becomes worse, right? And that was, and at that time, the contrast was Steve and Red Skull. Steve became, obviously, just who he is, even more. The serum amplified this good man into more of a good man, just someone with actual control over what he, and Red Skull was a bad guy who just became worse. And the serum makes you worse if you're bad. So what does it do to someone who's caught in the middle of things, where they're fighting for something good, but in order to achieve it, they have to do extreme things? That's Carly. So she's corrupted by the serum because she's uncertain of how to handle her responsibility. And that is a very, very, really important thing to play with. Because it's a whole new... And they don't just play with it with her, they play with it with John. Because here comes a big moment in this series, in this overall storyline, where John Walker, up to this point, did not have super soldier powers. He was just a regular soldier. I know I stopped going in order all of a sudden. Sorry, just happens. Whatever. I said spoilers in the beginning, and that's all you need to know. They play with what would the serum do to someone like John, because John is just every time we see him now, he's just extremely aggressive, impatient, and it all has to do with the pressure of even carrying that shield around, right? But also we really dig into more what he went through in his time in the service, serving for his country. Like, people give him these awards for things that they say were the right thing to do, but to him, it didn't feel right in the moment. So then that is played with. Now he's Captain America, and what feels right in the moment actually isn't right. So that's, and that is the contrast, right? That's a powerful parallel, almost. There's a defining moment and a choice that he makes. It actually comes down to the initial choice that he makes, which kind of leads into the final choice he makes in this episode. He takes one of the serum, the vials of the serum, and he drinks it, and he now has super soldier powers. And that's nothing new. That in the comics, he also becomes a super soldier, and now he is a super soldier. He has the same powers as Captain America had, and now you have not only the shield, but the power of Captain America. And you're wielding both irresponsibly. It does come down to pressure. Do I think that he's a bad person? No. Do I think that he was caught up in a moment? Yes. Do I think that he can continuously be caught up in moments that corrupt him entirely? Yes. So it's going to really matter what he does going forward. Because he's either going to be a hero or he's going to be a fucking villain, dude. That's where we're at with John Walker. In this moment now, he takes the serum, right? He's doing his thing, and now he's kicking ass. And then his partner dies. It doesn't just die. Lamar Hoskins, Battlestar. Nice to know you. It was 2 seconds. There's a chance that, obviously, it's a superhero universe. He could come back in some way. But he might just be gone, and that could be it. Served his purpose, maybe. I don't know. But in this moment, Carly's the one who kills him. So it's a big moment for her and for John, because first of all, Carly is not trying to be a supremacist, as Zemo constantly in episode makes her out to be. But she's doing things that keep pushing her down that path. And in that moment, it's like a pinnacle of it. She kills someone who is actually pretty, like an innocent person, and she did it right in front of her own face. It's not like blowing up a building where you can't see these people. Like, she straight out murdered Battlestar. The serum coursing through John's veins, I think in that moment it was kind of like a vengeance mixed with the serum moment that causes this big moment at the end where he kills Carly's crony. Straight out, like, aggressively murders him, like, brutally murders him. Blood on the shield, that is not Captain America. That image at the end, that is not the image of Captain America. It is the image of a false prophet, if you will. A betrayal, if you will. And it was filmed by people. It was seen publicly by people. The name of the episode is "The Whole World Is Watching," and And that is just... He just straight out destroyed the symbol of Captain America. He potentially corrupted the symbol of Captain America into basically what people who have been discriminated against by the the GRC Act. It's basically what they have seen that symbol to be now, what they think that symbol represents now. He just proved them right. He embodied this idea of governments oppressing people by doing what he did at the end. And it's not good. It is really not good. We get a couple of cool action moments. We get Bucky and Bucky and Sam kicking ass, finally. Because I feel like, other than the first episode with Sam, they've been getting their asses beat, not kicking ass, and they were kicking ass in this one. It was cool to see that. Working together was cool to see. This idea of their partnership comes up and how that's growing. You can subtly see they'll expand on it, I'm sure, even further in final 2 episodes, but it's hinted at here that it is growing into an actual partnership. But also Sam, I think him relating to Carly, that scene was the most powerful scene in the whole episode. That scene where he talks to Carly and relates to her and agrees with what she's trying to do, but just not the way that she's doing it, I think is everything that we've been building to thus far. Carly was just tossed aside by her government, right? Or Sam was too. Sam was supposed to be the next Captain America. He didn't believe anyone should be. And the government shit all over that and gave the shield to somebody. So just like our government does to black people in this country, they did it to Sam right in the worst possible kind of way they could have. That moment of relatability between Carly and Sam, and then it's expanded on later between Carly and Sarah, and those were the most powerful, dramatic story moments of this episode. And then just mixed in with a whole bunch of action. I loved the Dora Milaje scene where they're kicking butt. And John says it best, without super soldier powers, and they just kick ass always. And we learn that they have more control over Bucky's arm than he thought. Ayo just took it right off. Also appears that it's possible that Bucky's arm has similar powers to T'Challa's suit. We'll see if that comes to fruition at all. But just start to finish, one of the best episodes. It is the best episode so far. I think now that we're in the 3rd act of this story, with 5 and 6, you'll just see a lot of concluding here. Concluding and setting up, obviously, for the future, because it's the MCU and it's one large storyline. So we'll see. And I know thus far you haven't been checking those post-credit scenes. You should definitely get ready to check that last episode's post-credit scene. It's not like WandaVision. I don't think there will be 2 post-credit. It's just going to be 1. If they do 1, it'll be at the end of the 6th episode. So yeah, that is my recap of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, episode 4, and it was my topic of the week. TV spotlight. I think TV is just... I think if you want to know what direction TV's going, look at Disney Plus and HBO Max and Netflix. That is the direction. Obviously, streaming, it's been going in a streaming direction for some years now, but when you take something like Disney Plus, you take movie storylines and adapt and develop them for television like these Marvel shows are doing, or Star Wars, anything is possible. Anything is possible. Not that they haven't been doing that. TV's always adapted movie ideas into TV shows. I'm just saying, it just seems different now. It seems bigger. It seems... Just the fact that Marvel is able to make the most expensive television we've ever seen is groundbreaking. It's another next step. Game of Thrones was a big step, and now they just took it to the next step. Big budget television is here. It's not like it was at all. It's movies on the small screen. And it's movies on the small screen. In this day and age, in 2021, It is actually movies on the small screen, same day as in the theaters. Very, very cool and interesting time for TV. TV is, it is that new, like, golden age, man. And it's something I could go all day talking about, but we don't have all day. We have one episode here where I'm really actually going to dedicate a little time talking about it. The question is television the new standard? It's hard to say. Because nothing is quite like the box office, you know? It's always been about the box office. But with streaming, everything's different. You know, they have this ability to still make the money they need to make through subscriptions, through marketing, through specific release patterns. It's just only time will tell. Now we need to do our fun fact this week, and it's TV. So I'm going to do a fun fact about my all-time favorite television show, because I don't know if I'm going to talk about television like this for a while again, unless I decide I will, but not. I don't know if it'll be for a while. So I'm going to go right off the bat and just give you a fact about The Sopranos, because it is the best. It is my favorite. It is also arguably the best. It is, like, I want to just say it's the best. But there's Breaking fucking Bad, so I can't. Is it my favorite? Yes. Is it the greatest all time? There's Breaking Bad. It's like, no matter how great Sopranos is, when you ask the question of what the greatest TV show of all time, there's always Breaking Bad. There's always Breaking Bad right there. Top three, though. Top three of all time. Breaking Bad, Sopranos, Game of Thrones. And then I'll throw The Wire in there, number 4. But that's just the way. You want me to do top 5? Sons of Anarchy. Do top 5. Yeah, dude. But here's the thing. Breaking Bad wouldn't exist. Maybe it would, but I'm gonna, for the sake of this argument, it would not exist without The Sopranos. So, with that in mind, did you know? I said, did you know? Come on, computer. Work with me a little bit. Little bit quicker than that. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode 4 recap was brought to you by, was done in the name of the Godfather, the Son of Odin, the Holy Jedi. Let's do our fun fact. Did you know that the HBO hit The Sopranos almost looked extremely different? Creator David Chase had an idea for a story about a mobster in therapy, but as a film, not as a series. And had originally had Robert De Niro in mind for the role of Tony Soprano. How different would that have been? His original concept for the film became the first 2 seasons of the series, and the rest is history. But also, it is quite interesting to think that the series has 27 actors in common with Martin Scorsese's classic Goodfellas. 27 actors are in both of those projects, including some of the names: Michael Imperioli, Tony Sirico, and Lorraine Bracco. Bracco herself was originally conceived as being ideal for the role of Carmela Soprano, Tony's wife, but the creators ultimately decided that it was too similar to her role as Karen from Goodfellas. So they cast her as Tony's therapist, Dr. Melfi, instead, and Edie Falco, Purchase graduate, shout out Purchase College. She was cast as Carmela. Additionally, I might add that The Sopranos was the first hour-long drama with the distinct feel and format of shows we now watch today. Some could argue The West Wing, but it was The Sopranos. If not for The Sopranos, we wouldn't have the standard that we do, and that is why you could make the argument it is the best, it is the greatest, and it started it all. Could have done a little better with that fact, like in terms of the way I said it. But dude, love it. Love it. I'm sorry. Karen and Goodfellas. I'm sorry. Okay. Question of the week is simple this week because it is about, you know what? Last week's question was about who's the greatest CGI character? And I said Caesar, right? From Planet of the Apes trilogy. But there's clearly a poll of people who said Gollum first, and I totally understand. Totally understand. Just Lord of the Rings is such a fucking epic masterpiece, that whole trilogy, that it's so hard to... I mean, it's so easy to pick Gollum as the greatest CGI character when you have one of the greatest trilogies of all time having that CGI character, and it's very... when I was doing this question too, I realized how many CGI characters I wasn't thinking about either. So many that you could argue for as the best. But I just think it's Caesar, and if it's not Caesar, it's Gollum, just because of Andy Serkis. Nobody does it like he does it. Andy Serkis is if anything, he should have been the first actor nominated for an Oscar for a CGI character, in my opinion, for playing Caesar. He also, before he even did Caesar, he did Kong in the King Kong 2005 Kong. He's just fantastic. And I pick Caesar because I think, obviously, Caesar's a protagonist. That's why I pick Caesar. He's a main character. He's a protagonist. He's a hero of a story, of a complete story. Gollum is a side character in a large story. Caesar's the greatest of all time, in my opinion. Fucking argue me on it, okay? You should have commented in the comments, too. I put this shit up so we can have the argument and discussion about it. This week it's easy, okay? Because it's all TV related. What is the best TV series of the last decade? That is the last decade, 2010 to 2020. To narrow it down, it's Game of fucking Thrones, dude. How are we gonna even have this? It's Game of Thrones. So it's hard to... it's like almost like a stupid question to ask, right? But you could pick other things, obviously. Stranger Things, you could pick You could pick... You can't pick... Breaking Bad was 2000... It ended in this past decade, but it started in the one before, so I don't know if you could... We're going to keep it in started in this decade. I have a couple personal favorites, like Boardwalk Empire, Peaky Blinders, but they're not the best of the decade when you have Game of Thrones sitting there so clearly at the top. But I could even argue for some of the Marvel Netflix shows that I've been rewatching. Only argue for Daredevil and The Punisher. Those are the only two I would argue for. Yeah. Let's do our quote, and our quote is TV. Remember? Somehow I ended up having the same length episode. By the way, I don't know why it bothers me, but I kind of just wanted to have a nice 30-minute. I fucked up, but I'm rolling. It's podcast. It's the podcast zone here that I'm. It's just, you don't know what's gonna happen. It's just, quote. It's a TV show. Your hint this week is John Bernthal. Okay? And it's from the last decade. First time, as long as I can remember, I don't have a war to fight. And I guess if I'm being honest, I'm scared. Name that TV show. Don't know why I gave him a slightly southern accent there for some reason, because it's not what I was going for. But name that TV show. Also caught my attention today, which will not be today for you people, but DMX passed away after complications. He was hospitalized a few days ago, and he officially passed away from a heart attack. And he's one of the greatest rappers of all time, and rest in peace to DMX. I'm actually thinking about making a playlist. If you don't follow me on Apple Music, you should. I have a lot of good stuff on there. I actually have a lot of followers on there. I'm a playlist listener, so I do a lot of. I just make playlists. I like to make playlists and listen that way. I'm gonna make a new one where it's all like OG shit. I want to like do all the OG shit. Like Wu-Tang, yeah, like Wu-Tang, and by extension do like Ghostface Killah, do like Pac and Biggie, obviously. I'm thinking about it. I want to do like, yeah. Maybe do an OG playlist. It is that time in the show where we shout out to our patrons. And I will post my patron post only when I get a new patron. So you'll get a patron post too right now if you join. So it's a shout out in the episode and it's a patron post on Instagram. And if you sign up for the $10 tier, you get merchandise every time we get merchandise. We have a new merch drop coming with season 2 of Screen Preach. So that is in a couple weeks. Merch drop. And yeah, my $10 patrons will get merch. Just shirts, I think I'm going to do again. With the new style. So shout out to Billy Thomas, Jessica Murphy, Michael Morganti, Doolin Morganti, and Tijan Construction. Follow Tijan Construction on Instagram at Tijan Construction. And Linda Morganti. Thank you all for being the best and supporting the show. Forgot to add you, Linda Morganti. Let's do it's Michael Morganti and Linda Morganti. So, come back next week, and it is the 50th, finally. And we are doing our Marvel Cinematic Universe special, and it's going to be bonkers. Because it's going to be a long episode where I'm just going to talk about Marvel. So if you're into that kind of shit, like you were with the Star Wars one, I know a lot of people watch that one. That's what it is. And I'm a big nerd with this one, too. So we'll have some fun. And I will give you all of my ratings. I will give you the full, what are my favorite in order, the whole thing. It's the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Screen Preach. Screen Preach. The word is preach. Screen Preach episode. Follow the show at Screen Preach. Subscribe to BMS Studios on YouTube. Check out my website, benmorgantistory.com. And of course, become a patron at patreon.com/preacher. As always, I love this shit. I love all of you. Thank you for watching or listening.